Great. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody. Today is Wednesday, February 19th. This is a regular board meeting. The first order of business is, I'll call it, I guess first call it the order. I'm out of, what do we always do our collisions? Anyways, let the roll reflect that all members are present except for Redmond and Ronstadt. All right, so now we can.
Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Anyways,
1, 3, 2.
all right. Was this meeting properly notified?
Yes, it was. And as a reminder, it's being live streamed and recorded.
All right. Welcome to visitors. Is there any public comment tonight? No. So next we will go on to highlight on youth. And we have the middle school competitive speech with Mandy Langman.
And that podium's adjustable there on the right. That's an electric switch right corner there. And feel free to use the microphone. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think we need it. But
All right.
All right, hi. All right, so our middle school competitive speech team had a spectacular season. We follow the Wisconsin Interscholastic Speech and Dramatic Arts Association, and their mission and vision is to enhance and refine communication skills, to foster creativity, and to share perspectives in a safe and supportive environment to express their authentic selves and to grow from constructive feedback. And we definitely saw that happen this year. Our team consists of 39 students in grades 6 through 8. We continue to have the largest middle level competitive speech team in the area and have for quite a few years now. It's something we're extremely proud of. Other schools are seeing their numbers go down every year and ours continue to grow, which is spectacular. Our students are showing immense courage. They prepare and present in front of their peers and judges. This year we had students compete in categories of expository, demonstration, news reporting, non-original oratory, poetry, prose, and reader's theater.
we competed this year at 3 different tournaments, and 2 of which we actually hosted at the middle school. There are a lot of components and a lot of people involved in order to host a tournament, and we continue to host just because we continue to have such an incredibly supportive staff who help our tournaments run so smoothly. It was such a joy to see our students continue to grow in confidence and skills throughout the season. Many students received top marks in all rounds of competition at SCC. We brought home mostly top awards in the excellence category. Our students ventured out of their comfort zones, learned new skills, and grew as young people. We could not be more proud of them. Tonight, we're excited to bring you a performance by 2 of our 8th graders, which we like to do every year just to highlight their last year in middle school speech. They're committed leaders of our middle school speech team, Lane Gillis and Henry Pommier. During the season, Lane performed this piece with Landon Sikorsky, but Landon is enjoying the sunshine right now as we speak in Arizona. So we asked Henry to be here tonight to perform this piece with Lane. Henry performed a different piece with a group this year. And so tonight they're going to be performing a piece you may recognize called Who's on First. So without further ado, and they want you to laugh. So.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Who's on First is a classic comedy routine by Abbott and Costello, renowned for its clever wordplay and rapid-fire dialogue.
Debuting in the late 1930s, the sketch hilariously revolves around a baseball team's lineup.
This timeless routine showcases the duo's brilliant chemistry and remains a landmark in comedy history, celebrated by fans across generations.
This is
Who's on First by Abbott and Costello. Strange as it may seem, they give ball players nowadays very peculiar names.
Funny names?
Nicknames. I'll introduce you to the boys. We have Who's on First, What's on Second, I Don't Know's on Third.
That's what I want to find out. I want you to tell me the names of all the players.
I'm telling you, Who's on First, What's on Second, I Don't Know's on Third.
Are you the fellow that knows all the players?
Why, certainly.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name on first base.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who's on first?
Now what are you asking me for?
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. Who's on first base?
I'm asking you. Who's on first?
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who's on first?
Have you got a contract with this first baseman?
Absolutely.
Who signed the contract?
Why, naturally, it's no good unless he signs it.
It's no good unless who signs it.
No,
So who signs it?
absolutely.
You pay off the first baseman every month. Who gets the money?
Every dollar of it, and why not? The man's entitled to it.
Who is?
Yes,
No, who gets it?
absolutely. Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yes.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name on first base?
Oh no, wait a minute. Don't switch him around. Don't switch him around. That's on second base. Or what's on second base?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on
I
first?
don't know.
He's on third. Now we're talking. We've got to get this thing straight.
How do I get on third base?
You mentioned his name.
If I mention the third baseman's name, who did I say is playing third?
No, who's playing first?
Never mind first. What's the guy's name on third?
No, what's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
He's on third.
Here I go.
Well, I can't change the names.
Will you please stay on third base and don't go off of it?
What is it you want?
Now, who's playing third base?
Why do you insist on putting who on third base?
Now, who am I putting over there?
Yes, but we don't want him there.
What's the guy's name who belongs on third?
No, what belongs on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Third base.
You got an outfield?
Oh, yes, yes.
The left fielder's name.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought I'd ask you.
Oh, I just thought I'd tell you.
All right, then tell me who's playing left field.
Who's playing first?
Stay out of the infield. I want to know what's the left fielder's name.
What's on
I'm
second?
not asking you who's on second.
Who's on
I
first?
don't know.
Third base.
The left fielder's name?
Why?
Cuz.
Oh, he's center field. You know the players as well as I do.
Look, you got a pitcher on the team?
Now, wouldn't this be a fine team without a pitcher?
The pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me today?
I'm telling you, man.
Then go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow are you going to tell me who's pitching?
Now listen, who's not pitching? Who
I'll
is?
break your arm if you say who's on first.
Go ahead, have it your own way.
I want to know what's the pitcher's name.
What's on second?
I don't know.
Third base.
You got a catcher?
Why, absolutely.
Catcher's name.
Today.
Today and tomorrow's pitching.
Now you've got it.
All we've got is a couple of days on this team.
Well, I can't help that.
You know, I'm a catcher too.
I know that.
I'll get behind the plate and do some fancy catching. Tomorrow's pitching on my team, and the heavy hitter gets up.
Yes?
Tomorrow throws the ball to the guy. He bunts the ball. When the guy bunts the ball, me, being a good catcher, I'm going to throw the guy out at first base. So I pick up the ball and throw it to who?
Now that's the first thing you said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's all you have to
Is
do.
to throw the ball to first base.
Yes.
Now who's got it?
Naturally.
If I throw the ball to first base, somebody's got to catch it. Now who caught it?
Naturally.
Who caught it?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
Naturally.
Yes.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
No, no, no. You throw the ball to first base. Then who gets it?
Naturally.
That's right. Now we're talking.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
You don't.
I throw it to who?
Naturally.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not saying it that way.
I say I throw the ball to naturally.
You don't. You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
We'll say that.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not saying that.
I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Ask me.
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's it.
Same as you. I throw the ball to first base. Then who gets it?
Naturally.
Who has it?
Naturally.
You better have it.
All right. Now that settles it.
Now I throw the ball to naturally. Whoever it is drops the ball. So the guy runs to second. Who picks up the ball and throws it to what? What throws to I don't know. I don't know. Throws it back to tomorrow. A triple play.
Yes.
Another guy gets up. It's a long fly ball to center.
Because?
Why? I don't know and I don't care.
What was
I
that?
said I don't care.
Oh, that's our shortstop.
That was pretty good.
You guys stay up there, boys. I think
Yeah.
I'll ask you.
I haven't heard the full one in a long time.
Yeah, that was really good, boys. Knocked it out of the park.
How do you gain all your confidence to stand up in front of people?
A lot of practice.
You have siblings that you fight with?
So you're both eighth graders?
Yep.
Will you do this in high school?
I think I'm gonna.
Maybe. Depends if it interferes with sports.
Is this your favorite kind to do of speech?
This
Or
was really fun.
or is this the only kind that you've done, or have you tried other
I've tried other ones. I thought this one was really fun. I really like this one.
I've only done one.
How
And
many people do you have to speak in front of?
It's usually like 5 to 10 people at most in a room.
Do you get nervous before you go up?
After you do it for a while, not really.
Nice.
The more and more you do it, less nervous you get.
Were you aware of the Abbott Costello bit before this?
No, it was my friend Landon that told me about it, and then I got introduced to it, and I really liked it.
Did you watch them
Yeah.
perform it? Yeah. Now you guys did a really good job. And
Thank you.
it's been a while since I've heard it. I forgot all the other positions.
We don't get to laugh a lot at
No.
these meetings. Like for a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. I'm at every meeting.
Yeah. You could start off every meeting with a new skit.
You know, well done.
That was
Thanks,
awesome.
guys.
You guys killed it. Nice job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chance, you up next?
Yeah, right. Brian and I might, we're gonna own skip.
We're gonna let the kids leave.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, you guys didn't want to hang out?
Thank you. Hi, thank you.
Good job, parents.
Thing we've never watched.
Well, it's really old, Eric.
That was in the 30s.
Well, I'm glad that they've never.
Were you, you weren't born
Probably
yet.
I was probably a kid. I was probably like 5.
You weren't born.
You don't think. Okay, we'll move on to comments by board members and superintendent.
I have a comment. I was supposed to send a picture, which I don't know how to do. Maybe I can send it to Chance or Brian. It's a picture of a girl from Hudson. She's holding her regional championship bracket. And I didn't know that we did that. I honestly didn't even remember this, but we allowed her, she got her paperwork in. We allowed her to come and practice with us last year. She was getting bullied at her school and was going to quit the sport of wrestling. And her dad gushed to me and said St. Croix Central saved her wrestling career. You guys gave her a ton of confidence, and I want you to show this picture and let everybody know that
Who was that there?
Katie Simpson.
Yeah, thought so.
And
Text me, Derek. I can get up on that screen.
yeah, perfect. It was just really, something that I didn't even think of. Of course, I was just like, yeah, come practice with us. Not thinking hey, there's things that could go wrong where we could be in trouble. Where Chance was like, no, you got to do this right and get this paperwork. But if there's a bullying situation, we can accommodate. And so it was really, really, really cool. And it made a big impact. And then Ada and her took a picture together with their brackets and
With their eyes
Eyes
open.
closed.
yeah. So I'll text you that picture.
We have a little more flexibility at the middle school than
Yeah.
high school rules, but we find a way to say yes, and that's those coaches that are leading that. They know what's best for kids, so.
It's worth it.
Good job. Good job. Good teamwork.
So we have on there just rescheduled June 18th board meeting, just like we did last year. The administrators have their admin retreat that Tuesday through Thursday, I believe it is. And this past year, we moved the board meeting up to that Monday, which is June 18th. I'm sorry, from June 18th to June 16th. Would that work for everyone? As far as looking at your calendar, move June 18th to June 16th.
Well, from Wednesday to Monday.
Yeah.
Well, it's right after Father's Day.
Oh,
That's always good. That's a big day.
Is it a big day for you?
Yeah, a lot of things happen. Yeah, that's fine.
You get your Crocs, maybe?
Yeah, that's my hope. And socks.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you.
All right, so Kelly will send that out. Okay. All right, next up is scheduled presentations by guests and staff members. First is the direct admit program from the high school principal, Brian Johnson.
You guys are probably not gonna laugh. Oh, unless it's at me.
You know, I can just plug in, Tim. I got it up here.
Oh, you do?
That,
Okay.
that works. And then I can click through it. I wasn't sure if. Yeah, so direct admit is a program used by many, many schools in Wisconsin as a different way for kids to apply to college. We feel it's going to be a pretty great thing for our students, and I'll get a little bit into why we chose to go with this route in a second. But basically what it does is it adds an option to applying for college so that you don't have to go down the traditional route of doing all the paperwork and sending it in. What will happen is we create kind of a data serve through Skyward, which is our student information system, that pulls up some demographic information, some courses that the students have been in, and GPA, and it will automatically get pulled to these 10 University of Wisconsin schools: UW Green Bay, UW Platteville, Stout, Milwaukee, Parkside, Whitewater, Oshkosh, Superior, Stevens Point, and River Falls. Madison doesn't participate because they like to have more control over the application process. Same with La Crosse, and same with Eau Claire. But these schools have all agreed to be part of this kind of consortium that allows kids to apply and get accepted to colleges this way. So what the students have to have, they've got to be on track to graduate. On track to graduate is pretty much cut and dried across the state. Get their credits of English language arts, math, college preparatory math. And so that's kind of your algebra, geometry, algebra 2 track, not your, not like a consumer math or business math. It's the traditional pathway. Your 3 credits of science and then your 3 credits of social studies, plus being on track for your electives. If all those are met and you meet the college's direct admit thresholds for class rank and GPA, you're automatically accepted into college. You're not automatically accepted into particular schools. Like if you want to go to a school for pre-med or maybe education, those particular colleges within the universities, that's still something you'd have to apply for once you get there, you get in, but you can be admitted into their general university automatically after the spring of your junior year. It doesn't cost us anything. It doesn't cost the students anything. It's just a little bit of work on our end to get Skyward set up, which Ms. Dino did today wonderfully. So timeline for us, students of 2026 are going to be the first class that has this opportunity. They obviously have to meet the direct admit criteria. The schools have a little different criteria and they don't really tell you what that is. So like the thresholds, we don't really know what it takes to get into River Falls versus Green Bay. But so that's kind of an internal work for them. But once the information gets to them, they sift through it. They look at the kids that they're willing to take and kick back out that acceptance. Important, I think, it's non-binding. So just because a kid gets accepted to Eau Claire Eau Claire's a bad example. They get accepted to Green Bay. They don't have to go to Green Bay just because they get accepted to UWRF. They don't have to go to UWRF. It just gives them an option. Also, which is nice, if you don't get selected, you don't get into a school, you can still apply traditionally. And so you will know by August of your senior year if you got any direct admit offers. And if you did not get in the school you wanted, you can still apply to that school in the traditional method. You also don't have to commit to any of those schools. So let's say Madison is high on your list, but you got accepted to all these, all the schools through direct admit. You have until May 1st to choose a college and accept their offer to you if you were waiting, say to get into Madison or U of M.
You said August, so like the seniors would have to already apply by this fall, by August for the direct.
Juniors
That's what I
this
think.
spring will have their information sent to these schools by May 1st. And then August 1st of their senior year, they'll get their offers through the direct admit program, which would then give them that time during their senior year to apply to a different college if they wanted to.
So Brian, aren't the colleges gonna be a little scared that just every student's gonna apply to all of the colleges on that list?
My thinking in this, because I don't really I know the why it works for us. I know why it's important
right.
to us to do this. I'm not sure the why of the colleges, but I have a hunch that they think that this is a way to get more kids. College enrollments are
So they take the risk
stagnated.
of a bunch of kids.
Every college is down except for La Crosse and Eau Claire
And so they're,
across the state of Wisconsin.
you get a kid whose direct admit offer comes through and says, you got accepted to UWRF. If that wasn't on my list in the beginning, like, hey, this is where I'm going. I got accepted. I don't have to do the work to apply. And I just go there. I think that's probably the why
Probably.
the
And like
schools
the
participate.
commitment kind of comes when they start doing the housing, then that's the moving piece where they're like, okay, these people are then serious and they are, or when do they have to know? Did you say by May 5th?
May 1st, they have to accept their offer through the direct admit.
So they're waiving the $100 application fee?
Yeah, no application fees. And my
That's a
guess
lot of
is
paperwork.
it's
I know.
probably very labor unintensive.
Right.
Because it's just a computer program that sorts through, they put in their requirements, what they want for GPA, what they want for class rank. And as the Skyward Student Information System kicks them the information, the computer just spits it out. Obviously data sharing is important to us to make sure that we're not just kicking our student data out to anybody. So students are agreeing by opting into, well, when you participate in this, you agree to share this information, the demographic information over here on the far right. You're agreeing to share that with those universities. We are strongly leaning, unless you all are very much opposed, but we are strongly leaning and going to an opt-out process. So rather than having all of our juniors go into Skyward and click an opt-in button, because I'm fearful they will miss it, I'm fearful families will miss it, we want the folks who absolutely don't want their data shared to go into Skyward and opt out. And it will show up on the Skyward screen. It will prompt them and give them that option when we get that all set up. So we're leaning towards an opt out, but I would take input on that because it's not just a me decision.
I'd agree with that.
I think that sounds like the right way to go.
So we're gonna have the opt out option in Skyward, and so students are agreeing to give their high school and district information, their student name, their WISE ID number, which is their state ID number, their high school ID, grad year, address, school email address, transcript, GPA, legal sex, and then their race. And then this is a disclaimer that direct admit says put on here. It's a federal guideline that requires this collection. If that changes, direct admit will change, but it's not a factor in the admission process. It's just something that the federal guidelines currently are asking schools to collect. So just some general questions to cover these a little bit. Obviously, if you want to attend a university not on those 10, you just apply the traditional way. And by accepting your offers, you just go into, it's actually in Skyward in their own menu that's now created for them, and you just click accept. Again, no fee for accepting, no limit to the numbers. You can be accepted into all 10 schools if you want and make your decision when you actually go through the housing and the process. So my biggest why, when I learned about this, actually at the towards the end of last year, I just thought about some of the kids who maybe didn't have the support or didn't have the self-confidence to believe that they could get into a college, or they didn't know the steps or the process and taking that leap to do it. The application fees could be a barrier, not having somebody at home who could maybe help you through the paperwork and understanding all that. And so this way, maybe there's some of those kids who, because they're great at school, because they've got the GPA and it gets kicked out, now maybe they see this and they're like, hey, I can be a college kid. And we know college isn't for everybody, but just like anything we try to do here, I don't want someone to be limited because they didn't think they had the opportunity. And so that's my why I think this is a great thing. So what's next? Like I said today, Ms. Dino worked, we've got a meeting next week. We've had 4 separate meetings with the direct admit group. We have a meeting next Thursday. Ms. Dino today got our Skyward information system all set up. Chad and I have been in communication, making sure the technology options are good. We're crafting a letter and a communication to send out to parents and to students. And we should hopefully be ready to go with this class of 2026 on that May 1st deadline. So
This is specific to Skyward though?
Skyward is our student information system, so
Yeah.
that, because that's what we use, then Skyward is what sends information out. If you
Are
use
we
information,
changing that? Well, cumulative, it's the same thing, it's just called, it's a
Oh.
different type
So
of Skyward.
this won't affect that.
yeah, shouldn't affect it. But whatever your high school uses for that SIS, whether it's Infinite Campus, Direct Admit will work with you to get that information pulled in. So pretty easy for our students, pretty easy for our families, a little bit of work on our end. But like I said, we're feeling really good about this and think it's a great option for our kids.
Takes out a lot of the stress.
Yeah.
It is stressful.
Thank you.
The high school staff always laughs at me because my PowerPoints are always very plain, just black and white. And so I tried to do my best with some graphics and a little color on these. Yeah.
Your drawings were fantastic.
Yeah. That's what took me the longest, is getting the drawings on.
Does Stacy?
No,
Come on.
there's all. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Brian.
Can you do something to fill out FAFSA like that too?
No, I don't think they like to give away money like that.
Are we sure?
Okay, we can move on to policy review, process discussion, and Callie, the administrative assistant, is going to share and fill us in.
All right, so as you know, we've been updating our policies over the last few years. So I'll just give a background because Nate, I think we finished before you started. So the WASB puts out a packet and it has tons of policies in it. And so when Tim and I picked up a few years ago, we subscribed to the policy resource guide through the WASB, which are all vetted policies that they have put out. And so we basically would go through this packet that they put out, and we looked at every policy, and we basically use the philosophy, if the WASB thinks it's worth writing a policy, it's worth having. So we did every single one that the WASB had in the resource guide, and then any they didn't, Tim did some research, and we kind of put together our own policy and then had it vetted by the lawyers at WASB. So we finished that in, I think, October. And so now we're to the point where we need to start like a review process. So this up here is what Tim and I came up with. So it's a 5-year review timeline. So we just basically split it up into 5 years. And so I basically went to year 1, which would start at the 100s. And I looked through the policy resource guide, and all the yellow ones are ones that they have that we don't have yet. So they're constantly creating new policies and updating their resource guide. So I think there's about 40 yellow ones that we don't have that we are working on currently. But our idea is that, so we'll start with year 1 and we will start right at the top, go through every single policy. And so if we have any that need to be revised, we don't have them.
We just got done with that.
That's what I thought. One thing to add to, I thought, yep, now let's do a 5-year review, and Callie broke them up and did that. But then realized we got done with update, new policy, new coding, but we didn't actually subscribe to PRG till we were in like 300s. So Pam and I started, and we, just did all them kind of like I did. I'd research them, I'd find somebody else's I liked, and then we're like, yep, that looks good, and we did it that way. But they all weren't vetted by legal until 320.
It's like 340 something.
340s. Okay, so that we need to start over again. We're not done.
113.1 we can delete now.
Oh, you don't.
Yeah, yeah, because what we really need covered there is non-discrimination, which that covers. Yeah, so Kelly did a great job of explaining that. But yeah, we will be starting with the ones we don't have. Like she said, these ones that are highlighted, these ones will be in our next rotation. So then we at least have a policy on everything that WASB recommends. And then we'll get through.
You can see some of the dates are pretty old,
Yeah,
back to 2015.
Yeah, 15, yeah, there we go. So like right here, 343.42 would then up through there, starting at 110. So yeah, got a ways to go yet. But it's
But
good.
then
It's-
the idea is that like we'll never have a policy with a date older than 5 years because we can either put adopted if it's new, revised if it's one we already have but changed, or just reviewed to know that it was looked at.
Is it? Reading. Have you looked into your own?
Some of them are worth it.
Any questions regarding that? Thanks,
Probably a
Kelly.
good thing.
Thank you. Okay, next we can move to financial reports.
Right. As of January 31st, our balance in the Citizen State Bank checking was $3,072,451.61. Money market is $12,287.87. 146 is $59.48. Suicide prevention has $5,266.83. Debt service is $173,028.16. Referendum account has $438,091.54. And the second debt service account is $156,620.29. For a total account balance of $3,857,805.78.
Thank you. Anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve? Second.
Eric made the motion, Brad second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consideration of consent agenda. The curricular modification for students to enroll in full-time and part-time virtual courses for 24-25. The part-time is 14, full-time is 4, with a total of 18. So I need a motion to for the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Dave made the motion. Nate.
It was Nate, yep.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Administrative reports.
So you can see exhibit 11A, our total number of students in seats. The first kind of matrix is 1,583. It's been pretty steady. You can see we started 1,592. It's fluctuated, went down slightly, then up last month, and then back down to 1. So holding pretty steady there. And then the bottom right-hand column, you can see our charter school has 280 students in it, our virtual charter. And then lastly, I'd point out at the bottom left column regarding open enrollment in and out, we have 427 students open enrolled in, 128 out, for a difference of 299.
Right. We can move on to the key work of our school board. Tonight, there is no recognition, so we can go on to consideration of approval of revision to SCC Employee Handbook, Part 3, Section 1.05.
See, that's in the packet. I can pull it up here too. Again, this is just some changes that were made in practices in light of that first 2-hour late start. Just to kind of get clarification. There's so many different classifications of employees and how they work and when they work and their work hours. So this just helps us get clarity and put it in writing for everyone moving forward. Jen, Michaela, and I had worked on that, and so just moving forward, we wanted it in the handbook since it was a little vague and needed clarification. So you can see the items that are highlighted are the changes.
We don't have to do a first or second reading on this, we can just approve it.
That's correct. Yep.
I'll make a motion, make the changes.
Second.
That we're
Derek.
Dave made the motion, Derek second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under core agenda items, consideration of first reading of board policy 361.2, library material selection.
So, this one, you know, I believe that it was fairly new. We looked at this not that long ago, I think last year. But, then, you know, just because it has a potential, right, for groups and, we wanted Jenny Franklin came to us and just said, you know, we're not comfortable with some, it doesn't really align with our beliefs. And, mostly it was a part about the, complaints and then, having, you know, citizens involved, like a staff member, parent of the guardian, district student may register criticism. You know, it did say, a community member.
I thought I read that the board members
Somewhere in there. I remember the main thing was the community member. And it's like, well, you know, we didn't want outside groups to be able to come in and tell us, you know, we thought it'd be more local control, our staff, our parents, our students, stuff, you know, and then kind of this, that was the main impetus. And then while she was doing that, you know, she just made those changes that you see there highlighted, that she just thought were relevant. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Callie. You know, we just, again, put a lot of trust in her. She's the one applying it and using it the most to make the recommended changes. So I didn't see anything, you know, and of course we have that vetted with our WASB legal counsel as well. So if you see anything in there, you know, please let us know that you'd want us to question or push back on or potentially change so as to stay within legal requirements. Let me know.
You don't need to vote since it's a first reading, correct? You guys good with that? Everyone? All right. Do we have future agenda items? So we can talk about upcoming dates. March 19th is a school board meeting here at 7 o'clock. April 3rd is the joint PAC BOC meeting at 6 p.m. at CC 11 in Turtle Lake. Kelly, when is the registration due for that?
It is due March 24th. So if you could let me know at the next board meeting on March 19th, if you could go.
So that's, we go up to CISA, there's other school boards there, they give you dinner, correct?
So it's 6 p.m. registration, 6:30 dinner, 7:15 there's a presenter, Joe Sanfilippo.
Joe's the former Fall Creek superintendent. His big thing is on branding and district marketing. And I don't know, he did a keynote at the convention in Milwaukee. Of course, we didn't go, but he resigned from his superintendent positions, full-time keynote speaker, et cetera, et cetera. So that's about all I know. He's a high energy, rah-rah motivator, district branding guy. I'm sure, I don't think there's not a brochure yet, right?
No, Kim, she said she would have more information at a later date, so about what he's presenting on.
We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah.
You know that you want to go, you can probably know via email as well or now. Moving on, April 16th is the school board meeting here at 7 p.m. April 27th is the SCC school board development meeting at 5 at the district office. Is it for upcoming dates? So now I need a motion to go into closed session.
Motion to go into convene to closed session A period per Wisconsin statute 19.85 1-C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any other public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. 1, approval of resignations, retirements, and terminations. 2, approval of appointments and contract modifications. 3, quarterly superintendent's goals and reviews.
So I had a motion. Dave, so Derek made the motion, Dave second.
See how close I had to sit to my computer to read that?
You want to do ayes?
Aye.
Right, 7:42 and we need a break.